Cool.
Okay. I'm going to ask y'all a few questions. So if you want to mute and then just unmute yourself when you want to respond, but I would really love to hear something from you. I think that's part of the sweetness of having a small group like this where people are in similar positions. I think that's Jess.
Hi.
Hi. Is somebody talking to a dog? There we go. Okay. But I do want you to feel free to unmute when I ask a question, okay? So tonight we're going to talk about income producing activities and time management, which especially when you have a small starting a business or you're trying to grow a business, these are tools that you need to refine. I mean, and honestly, 5 years into the business, you'll still be refining them. But it's something where you can either feel like, oh my gosh, I'm spending 10 hours a day doing this, or you're like, I spent 5 minutes in 2 weeks doing this. So it's kind of just trying to find some helpful patterns. So I'll give you lots of tools and some tips and some ways that we can think about it a little bit differently to hopefully help you find a groove of how to keep it manageable. I think that the pendulum either swings from, oh my gosh, I feel like I have so many things I could be doing, all the way over to, I have no idea what I need to be doing. And so we'll talk about some of that. Thank y'all, first of all, for showing up. I think that this is kind of the first big hurdle is just plugging in does so much for your business. So just the fact that you make the time and are carving the time to show up for this, that you're showing up on the page. I loved watching y'all's videos. I know that was a huge hurdle, and so I'm so proud of so many of y'all for doing that. Just engaging in those kind of ways in your business is going to do so much for you. Sometimes all it takes is just a little bit of an engagement that kind of gives you that energy and that spark to kind of do some things with your business. So I was really proud of that, and I loved hearing from y'all about that. Not too late, by the way. If you haven't done it, you can still hop on there and do that. And also, I think that this can be a great place. I loved watching y'all comment on each other's videos and stuff, and would really encourage you to do some more of that, because I think the more that you feel that kind of camaraderie, it just does something in your spirit to feel like you're kind of on the same page, the same track with other people in the same boat. So keep that up. We're going to start for just a couple of minutes. I want to hear some wins from the week, okay? And I guess a lot of times, people are like, I didn't sign anybody this week, or I didn't, but I'm even talking like, it can even just be a personal thing. Like, I was terrified and I did this and I didn't die, or gosh, this happened and it was so encouraging to me, or whatever. So let's just share for a second. What is something this week that was a win or an encouragement for you?
I know for me, I got 6 people to confirm to go to the event tomorrow night, which usually I have no one. So 6 people was amazing.
That's amazing.
And I had 7 people ask for samples. So 2 big wins.
That's bravo. Wow. And isn't it fun when you see, like, when you give a little bit of engagement and then you see some things happen, it's just like, oh, okay, all right, I can keep doing this. That's really, really encouraging. I'm so excited for you, Jessica. Good job. 6
Thanks.
People? I don't think I've ever had 6 people come to an event. That's amazing.
Yeah, I messaged everyone and expected no one. So
yeah, so good. Awesome. Okay, great wins. Anybody else?
So I had a good internet week, like you said. But the other thing, I made a really simple post, like super, super simple this week. And I got usually I know people look at them, but they don't always comment or they don't always say anything. And then like a couple weeks later, they'll be like, hey, I saw that post. But I actually got some comments on it. And a girl that I haven't talked to in forever seemed super, super interested. So that was really good.
Good.
Yeah.
That's great. That's encouraging, especially when I think I saw that post and I was like, ooh, keeping it simple. But was it about Radiant Defense?
Yep.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, it was good. It was good because it was like just enough.
Yeah, I've been keeping it a little more simple because I think sometimes when you go too lengthy, I know I lose my interest because I'm like, this is
smart. Mix it up. I like it. Okay, somebody else? One more. Somebody, come on.
I had a guy buy a gift card for his fiance at Christmas, and she's going to go above and beyond that.
All right. Good. Reeling her in there. Way to go. That's fun. Okay. Okay, Holly.
I had to talk to my, I do Disney trips too, and I had to talk to my Disney equivalent of Demeet, and I only know her like via the phone. And I said something about, thank you for helping me. Can I send you a sample? And she was like, oh my gosh, no one sells that around here. Yes, I want Lash Boost. And I'm like, ah. So I'm about
That's
to
amazing.
New Jersey.
Where is she?
New Jersey.
Oh, man. No, I mean, can you just like say that again? No one sells that around here. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's such music to our ears, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
New Jersey, watch out.
come on, bring them on. We got them from all over. We'll take some from New Jersey too. That's great. That's really encouraging. I want to meet somebody who doesn't know anybody else that sells it. Okay, we're going to have a real quick mindset moment because every week I want to kind of just rally us back, okay, to our mindset moment, because I think that if you've been in this job 5 days, 5 months, 5 years, 5 weeks, whatever, you constantly have to be reminding yourself. Don't ever, believe that, oh gosh, once I've done this for so long, I'll have this down pat. Not true. Big lie. This business is a huge roller coaster of emotions. I'm so glad for y'all to have these wins and things that are encouraging your business and yourself in this. But also, I also want to be like really transparent about the fact that there are things that really suck too, right? That there are days that aren't awesome, where you don't have positive feedback, where people don't respond to you or don't reply to a message or don't say yes to come to your event, or it is such a roller coaster of emotions. And if you get on that roller coaster and you ride that, you will flat out exhaust yourself in no time flat. Okay. And so my kind of mindset encouragement for this week is to kind of stay off that roller coaster, to acknowledge that it is a very real thing, but to, as much as you can, emotionally detach yourself from that, and knowing that your worth and the way people think of you and feel about you is not tied to your business, okay? That they are not saying no to you in the core of your soul, right? They are just saying, no, I don't want any face cream. Okay. Like those are really different things, right? Like it's a really different thing for them to be rejecting wanting to purchase a like literal serum for your face and wanting to, have a real issue with the core of your being, right? Okay. So just having a little perspective on those two things, in that it's not a personal thing if they don't want it, right? It's not they are not, disliking you as a person if they don't respond to your message. It may be rude and it may be hurtful a little bit, and it's okay to be hurt by that, but also to kind of just be a big girl, move on with it, act normal. I have found personally that when things like that happen with me, the more normal I can be when I see them, like, say somebody ghosts me, right? It happens. If it hasn't happened to you, it will. Where you text them about, oh, they're going to buy something from me. And then you text them about it and you don't hear it. It's like crickets. And you're like, wait, this is like my friend that I see all the time. Why are they not responding to me? And so then the next time you see them, all of a sudden you're like, well, she clearly hates me and I don't even have a friend anymore. And you start acting all weird. It just makes it worse. So my advice in that is to just be as normal and as unfazed by the business side of it. They are feeling the awkwardness. They are feeling awkward too if they have ghosted you, right? And so I think my job sometimes is just to relieve that and just to be like, I'm cool, I'm good. Like, you don't some even times have to acknowledge it. But just to be kind of the bigger person and to move on and not be defined by one yes or one no, right? Because you're going to get several of all of those answers, and don't let those things define you, okay? Kind of stay off of that. You can't take it personally. But you do have to kind of be able to develop some thick skin there and to be able to move on from that. So hopefully, that will encourage y'all, just kind of in calling it out, like, gosh, there's some awesome wins, but there's also some times where it kind of hurts and you kind of feel embarrassed, or you kind of feel like, wait, I'm taking this personally, and that we just kind of have to develop thick skin and keep moving. So does anybody have any thoughts or questions about that? Does that make sense? I just kind of wanted to every week want to try to remind us of that, because, if you don't keep remembering that that's a real part of this, you can get knocked on your butt by it. You know what I mean? Okay. Anything? Okay. So we're going to talk about income producing activity. You'll hear this every now and then. When you are talking about the business, you hear the words IPA. And that stands for income producing activities. So what are income producing activities? They are actually the things that you do for your business that are going to make you a paycheck. Okay. So things that are not income producing, making lots of lists, organizing folders, endlessly looking through Pulse, scrolling through Facebook. You get sucked into the scroll hole and you're like, I'm looking for people I'm going to connect with at some point, but really you're just scrolling through, mainly looking at other Rodan and Fields consultants or something like that. None of those are income producing. All of those things, fine. Maybe some of them even need to happen, but those things are not going to move your business forward. They are not going to get you customers, grow your team, help you in some way grow your personal business. Okay, I want to hear from you guys. What are some things that you know of that are income producing activities?
Calling people.
Oh, I like how you said calling people.
Woo-hoo.
Very relational forward there. I'm a big fan of that. Yeah, okay, so actually connecting with people. I am a big, and lots of people, there's lots of different kind of perspectives on this. I am a huge fan of the relationship leading the way here. Okay. I think that
I was just going to say that.
Oh, you were? How about that?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Because of what
good.
you just said before too, like, don't let the business distract from your friendship with people. It's, if you keep it authentic and you keep it about reconnecting with people that you really truly want to know about, you really truly care about their family, you love looking at their pictures on Facebook, and you reach out to them and you build a friendship with them, and that relationship that forms like what you need.
That's so true. I think that if we keep that in the forefront and we are, loving people, talking to people, knowing people, and that is kind of at the front. And then, you can always circle back in and keep it so simple. I think a lot of times you feel like you have to craft this perfectly like backdoor. I have found the most success with exactly what you're saying. Knowing, engaging with people, being someone's friend, being a great room mom, being a great, volunteer, whatever way I'm interacting with this person. And then you just really simply say something like, hey, has anyone ever talked to you about Rodan and Fields? Or, hey, have you ever tried a sampler of Rodan and Fields? Like, there doesn't have to be any crafty, like real, super secretive, attack approach here. It's a pretty simple question, just like you would say, hey, have you tried that new restaurant down the road? I heard it's really good. It's the same thing. It's like, hey, has anybody ever talked to you about this? I sell this. I love it. I would love for you to try it. Or has anybody ever invited you to a party like this, or we're having an event. Do you want to come with me? So I feel like a lot of times, we try to be super crafty and like you need to give them some kind of like resume along with it. Like, I've been very successful myself, and it's like that. No, they know that. If you know them and they're in a relationship with you, they know you sell this, or maybe they don't, and you're just telling them for the first time. But I think that the simple approach is really the best of relational, keeping it relational and not fake, and people see right through all that.
Definitely be yourself, be the real you. And like, and the products sell themselves. So like always having a chapstick on hand and not even trying to sell it, just being like, man, I love this chapstick. I just can't, this stuff is so great. And then just move on to the next conversation. Like it doesn't always have to be something that leads into like, let's have a big convo about it. It could just be like, hey, you want some lotion real quick? Like, okay, cool. Let's move on, and they could just be like, oh, I always see you using the products. You're always so happy. You love them. Like, what's up with that?
Mm-hmm. I think planting seeds and dripping is really effective because they're curious.
Definitely.
Okay. So, kind of what Brooke was saying was calling people. I love the calling, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. I think that there is a little bit of change happening in Rodan and Fields. Back in the day when I first started, all the rage was Facebook messaging everybody in the world that you ever knew in your entire life. And that is still effective. Lots of people still really do that. I feel like that is sometimes it's a little bit harder to get people to respond to you. And I don't know if you guys are like, yeah, I've experienced that. It's sometimes hard because I've been there. I get Facebook messages from other people sometimes, and I read them at a traffic light and I forget to respond, or it's not the right time for me to, there isn't an immediate thing I have to respond to, and I don't. Or they get a lot of those in their inbox. And so it's just kind of another one, and it doesn't mean anything because there isn't some kind of special connection. So some different ways I think that are a little more effective is, like we were saying, get on the phone. I know that feels a little weird because people are kind of oddly creeped out to talk on the phone these days because we've gotten so used to text messaging. One way that's really effective is, I use this all the time. If you haven't gotten one for me, you probably will, where I do voice messages text. Do y'all know how to do that? I just, instead of typing a text, and not even voice to text, like it doesn't even type it out. It's literally my voice that comes across in a text message. I do that a lot to people because people oddly feel weird not responding when you are talking in a voice versus like just a bubble, right? So, I've had some great success with that. And even just saying something like, hey, if you have 5 minutes today, I would love to talk to you about this. If you can give me a call, I would really appreciate it. Simple. I'm not like doing a sales pitch. I'm not doing anything. I did that just the other day with a prospect that I was talking to. I knew she would be leaving school, and I sent her a voice message on my text. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about, let me know. If you're like,
I think I've seen the other videos as well. I think they're amazing.
Yeah. It's so good. Now, I had never done, Becky was training about sending a text video, and I've never done that. Now, that's next level. But I do the voice text a lot because I feel like people do tend to engage more with that. So maybe try mixing up. If you're sending Facebook messages and it's not really getting you any response, Facebook also has a voice memo that you can send instead of the typed out Facebook message. It's a voice message. So people use that, and it's really effective too. But like I was saying with my teacher friend the other day, I knew she would be leaving school. And so I left her a voice message at like 2:45 or something. I was like, hey, can we just catch up for 5 minutes after school? I really want to pick your brain about this. And I want to ask you some questions about Rodan and Fields business. So she knew I wasn't blindsiding her with anything. And she's like, yeah, I'll be in the car in 15 minutes. I'll give you a call. But she responded. And I promise you, if I had sent her a text message, I think she would have just ignored it. So there is something about the voice to voice, or the, hey, can we have coffee? Can I run some samples by? Those kind of things are super effective. Or, hey, I'm going to the post office today. Can I put some samples in the mail? Those kind of things that kind of give a little bit of like almost texture to your offer, right? Where it's like a specific time or a personal reason, or I'm going to be dropping by. Can we get coffee or something like that? That kind of like gives a little beef to your message. Okay. So always try to come up with something like that for your reach outs. Belly to belly is kind of the best, but then kind of down from that, I would say Facebook Messenger, honestly, these days is like the bottom of the list. Does that make sense? Do y'all feel me on that? Anybody else? It's still effective.
I get what you're saying. For somebody like me that lives in the country, far away from people, like it's so hard to make plans with people out here. You live 40 minutes from anybody. And,
yeah.
Well, I mean, some of you guys know. Facebook Messenger has been a really good way for me to keep like those really engaged conversations with people, keeping caught up with their families, keeping caught up with what's going on with their life and all of that. And in that, I have a lot of conversations, and nearly all of those people are now customers.
Yeah.
Definitely do get ghosted by the randoms, like, hey, what's up? You know, and then you give them the information and they don't write you back, but they usually do a few months later.
Yeah. Well,
but I've found it super useful for keeping engaged with, you know, real conversations and stuff when you can't actually be in public.
Yeah. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I still use Facebook Messenger a lot. I just think sometimes if you're getting a lot of ghosts, maybe just try mixing it up. Try a voice message on Messenger, or try, you know, a voice message on text or something, just to, as a different way to engage people.
Yeah.
So that's great. Okay. What's another thing that we can do for income producing activities? Anything? Obviously, we're always looking for new business, new connections, new, you know, business partners, those kind of things. I think another thing you need to think about, and this pertains a lot to you guys as you're growing your customer base, is taking care of your customers. I think customer service is a really, really important part of our income producing, because so much of our paycheck is from customers that continue to reorder. Okay. So you want to make sure you are taking care of the customers that you already have. And this isn't something that needs to take up this isn't a daily activity necessarily, but it is something that we want to be excellent at. Okay. I want to make sure, and everybody has different opinions about this. My personal opinion is I never want my customers to have anything shipped to their door that they do not want. Okay. I am never, and I hope that you guys kind of prescribe to that same thing. Just because it's an auto ship and they know what they're signing up for, and they're just, you know, they signed that this is what they wanted. Y'all know just as well as anybody that nobody needs a redefined regimen every 2 months, right? And so it is so much easier for you to text that customer and check in with them and keep them happy than it is to let them get super frustrated and annoyed with that stupid Rodan and Fields thing that kept showing up at my door and piling up under my sink. Because that is not going to be a long-term customer. That is going to be a customer who gets super annoyed with products shipping to their house all the time, and they are frustrated, and then they're going to cancel, versus somebody that really wants the product but really only wants it every 4 months, and you can help manage that. Okay. So if you aren't personally managing it, at least you need to be reminding them. Okay. They are getting email from corporate, but I think we're getting paid for this, right? Okay. It's not like, it's not even like really just above and beyond customer service. It's like, I'm making a commission on every single thing that person gets. So a little bit of love and attention goes a really long way in maintaining happy customers. Anybody have any thoughts about that?
Yeah, actually, I even feel like most of my customers, I actually do handle their accounts. And the reason why I do that is because it allows me to catch up with them. So even if they are the person that's, you know, a Lash Boost person who's holding off a lot, I can still catch up with them when new products come out and tell them about it in a not weird, I want all your money kind of way, as well as when they don't understand that they don't need to buy every month and stuff. They don't just go and cancel themselves because they don't really know, you know, if they want to handle their account, I'm totally fine with it, but they talk to me before they cancel, and that can usually save me canceling them. Like, oh girl, you don't have to buy every month. I can make it so you don't do that. I'll check in with you, or let me know when you need something else. Definitely has, because I've had a customer before that couldn't afford it for a year and she was going to cancel. And I held her off for a year, and she's come back to me since because she can afford it now, and I saved her that $20 also.
That's
for
perfect.
Their re-signing. So I personally do take care of most of my people because I feel like it's a benefit.
I do too. Yeah. I do the same thing.
Yeah, I've found it's a very small, if I'm in touch with my business, it is a really small thing for me to go in there and edit their cart really quickly and keep them happy. And for them to go in and do it, sometimes that's kind of a stressful thing of like, log in, oh my gosh, remember this. And I will be honest, they're redoing our website, thank the Lord. But it's not super intuitive, I don't think, that you would be able to just click, 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 okay, done, like we know how to do since we do it for our customers. So I think it's
and the buy now option really is very confusing for a lot of people.
Yeah. So I think that I kind of try to keep my customers off the website, to be perfectly honest, and I just handle it for them because it's just a great service to be able to text somebody and say, hey, do you need anything? Or, hey, we just, we've got this thing I think you really like. It's also a really great thing to know what your customers are using, to keep up with what they're using so that you can ask them specifically, how's Unblemished going? Or, hey, I know you ordered lash twists. It's been about 6 months ago. Do you need any more? Just paying attention to those kind of things. That's not pushy. That is doing your job, okay? You're not trying to upsell them or anything. You're just checking in on something that they purchased from you, okay? Okay. So I think customer service is a great way that you can continue to grow and kind of massage your business there as you're growing and take good care of it. Another thing for income producing I want to talk about for just a minute is following up, okay? You can do a lot of reaching out, a lot of connecting with people, a lot of sending samples. All of these things are great, okay? All of those are income producing. However, if you do that first step, never circle back around to the follow-up, you are missing enormous activity possibilities, okay? Does anybody know what the kind of average number of touches it takes to someone before they are ready to have a serious conversation, make a purchase? Anybody know? Okay, I'll spoil it. 5 to 12, okay? So that's kind of a lot. So if you're getting to the like, oh, I sent them a message and they never said anything, and you're stopping at that, and that to you is a no, you're literally like 5 to 12 conversations away from officially having a no, okay? So that's kind of what I was talking about at the beginning in the mindset, like you got to get a little thicker skin, okay? A ghosted conversation is not a no. A non-response to an invitation is not a no. I'm not ready to purchase right now is not a no. So you have to continue to follow up. And there are so many creative ways that you can do. I am not. Go ahead.
I even started doing like, hey, if I'm harassing you, just let me know and I'll stop. And most of them have said, oh, no, you're not harassing me. Keep doing it.
Yeah. Isn't it funny? I do the same thing. A little trick that I do a lot is if I have sent somebody a message, I text message a lot. Or Facebook messaging, whatever. And I you see like some bubbles on one side and no responses. I will like send the little finger arrow thing and put like up. And then I'll say like, oh my gosh, am I driving you? Like, hopefully I'll say something like, I'm trying not to take this personal, or, like something with a little winky face, or like stalker alert, like I'll kind of make a joke about it. And that honestly gets me a better response than anything, is when I kind of like almost not poke fun at myself, and I don't do it in a degrading way, but just in a like, I'll say like, did that freak you out or something like that? And then they'll come back and be like, oh my gosh, no, I'm so sorry. Or, whatever. It at least like gets a conversation going. A lot of times something that can just, when I say follow up, it doesn't always have to be Rodan and Fields. So don't feel like you have to always be circling back around to, did you want to order? Did you want to order? Did you want to order? It can be just a like, oh, it was so good to run into you at the soccer game the other night. I really love blah, 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 whatever. So it can just be some way to continue a conversation. To then where, after you've had a couple more touches about just life and things, you can then say, hey, I didn't want to drop the ball on this. Were you interested in this? I know I had given you that sample. Or, oh my goodness, I hope that, I'm honestly not trying to drive you crazy. I'm wrapping my month up, or I'm sitting down right now to put in orders. were you interested in that still? So that there are a million ways, and we'll talk some language too on another call, but where ways that you can connect and continue to follow up. It is incredibly ironic to me that the topic tonight is IPA and time management, and I have got 5 minutes and 41 seconds left on this call to talk to you. So isn't that ironic that I'm talking about time management and we're out of time? So that's really good. But hopefully those income producing activity things are helpful little triggers for you to think of as you're sitting down. My biggest thing I'm going to say about time management, and we'll circle back to some of this, is this. It is a very rare thing that you are not working for anyone. Okay. Most people don't not have bosses telling them you need to be here at this time. You need to work this amount of time. This is my expectation for you. In this business, that is exactly the case. You do not have a boss. You do not have anybody telling you when you need to work, how much you need to work, what you need to do, right? And so you have to kind of come up with some parameters for that yourself. I'm a big fan of having time I'm working and time I'm not working, because I do think that as much of a gift as this is, and that I can do so much on my phone, I can also do so much on my phone. And you know what? I don't want to sometimes. I don't want to always feel like I'm a slave to, always doing that. And so I really do try to, I'm going to work here and I'm not going to work here. Or I'm going to be available here and I'm not going to be available here. I think it is really effective if you have a laptop and you can sit down and you can crank out some work in 30 minutes on your laptop versus scrolling around on your phone and trying to shoot off a few things here and there. Think about the way that you most effectively work, okay? For me, I most effectively work if I sit down and I have an hour and I'm just going to crank out a bunch of work and then I'm done. I'm going to walk away from it. I'll work on it again tomorrow. Versus kind of every minute of my day thinking, oh, I could send a message, I could do this, I could do that. My brain is just too scattered, right? So think about how you best work in life and then try to apply that to your radiating fields business, okay? It's unfortunate that I can't be like, here's a template, do this every single day, because everybody works so differently and everybody has such different capacities and time frames. But a few tips for that would be setting office hours, meaning look at your calendar right now, tonight. And this is actually going to be some of your homework. I want you to look through your calendar and go ahead this week and pick out if it's 30 minutes a day, 20 minutes a day, hour a day, whatever time you have available, and put that on your calendar, okay? So tomorrow for me, that's going to be from probably 11 till 2. And I have a lot to do tomorrow, so I don't usually work that much, but there's a pretty big thing I got to get ready for. So I'm blocking that off tomorrow. And then on Tuesday, I have about a 30-minute section. So I like literally put it on my calendar so that when I wake up tomorrow, I'm like, okay, this is what I'm doing. And when I sit down, I'm going to work, okay? I've got a list I'm going through. I've got some things I'm planning for. I've got some messages I got to send, some invitations I got to do, those kind of things. So that you are not just sitting down sort of like, scrolling through, oh gosh, I could send a message to that person. That is an ineffective way to work. Not going to say I haven't done it. Not going to say I haven't done it quite a bit, actually. But I would suggest blocking off time that you actually work. So then that way it alleviates feeling like you're always feeling this weird pressure to work. Does anybody ever feel like that where you're like, I could still be doing something? You know what I mean? So by kind of protecting that and putting it into a box that fits, in your week, hopefully it will alleviate a little bit of that pressure. Guys, this Zoom is only 40 minutes long because, it's a long story. It's going to cut me off here in a second. So I'm going to wrap this up and say bye before it literally cuts me off and is really awkward. And I have some homework for you guys, okay? I'm going to put it up. It's about time management. I'm going to put it up when I post this replay. It will be written there. the 2 things I need for y'all to do this week. Okay. I'm really sorry that I'm talking about time management and literally fighting the clock to get cut off here. That's mildly embarrassing, but hey, yeah. Okay. I am so thankful for y'all. I hope this was helpful. I hope there's some nuggets in here. If you have questions about anything, comment once I post this replay and let me know. And I'm going to see your faces again this week because we're doing another live video. So get ready for that. Is everybody excited? Okay. Hopefully this was helpful. I challenge you to do things that are effective for growing your business this week and keep it in a timely manner. So, okay. Sorry that I'm getting cut off. I love you guys, and we're literally out of time. To the second. That's pretty good. All right. Bye, you guys.
Woo!